This is Jay,
And this is Jay, and we're here with the news.
or the March Madness picks. All right, we got Auburn or Alabama State. That's an obvious pick. Let's go with Alabama. Alabama's all the same. They're all brothers and cousins.
Louisville and Creighton, though?
I would go with Creighton.
I've never heard of Creighton in my life. Is that some kind of disease?
Creighton?
I'm going with Louisville myself. I ain't going with no disease.
Let's go with Creighton. And he said chlamydia. I said Creighton. It's 2-1. Michigan or San Diego.
Well, you know what? I ain't too sure about those two, so I'm just going with the easy pick, Michigan myself.
SEC bioism over the Ivy League schools, so let's go with A&M.
A&M all the way.
All right, Levi, you pick 6 or 11, since you know nothing about teams.
9-11.
9-11, you know.
That's a bad choice. We're going to override that. We're going to go with Ole Miss. Iowa State, or pronounce that. I bet you would love to pronounce that.
Lipscomb.
Close enough.
Lips come on, he's what?
But we're going to go with Iowa State. Here's one, Marquette or New Mexico.
I would go with New Mexico in this one.
Michigan State or Bryant.
Michigan State all the way.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Now we're time to the Western bracket, and I'm overriding everybody. We're going to go with the Gators. This one's an easy pick considering Memphis' star players out for the game. Maryland or the Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon's got a basketball team? No way. Let's go Maryland.
Missouri or the Pedophilia.
The pedophilia?
Pedophiles.
Hey, pedophiles? No way.
Texas Tech or
That's what
UNC
Drake
Wilmington.
Texas Tech? We're Texas State here.
Kansas or Arkansas.
We don't need the extra AR.
Normally SEC team all the way, but this one I got to go with Kansas. St. John's or Peyton Manning's favorite word.
Well, you know what? This ain't football, so we're going with the St. John's. Duke's got a very
White
good
boys
chance.
all the way. Coach K. Mississippi State or Baylor.
I'm gonna go SEC bias for that
SEC.
one.
Oregon or Liberty. The Christian school.
I want to say
They
Oregon.
have Jesus on their side. So
They do, but I think the Oregon Liberals will take this one. Arizona or Akron.
Akron. The only reason I know Akron is because there's a small boy from there.
Who had a dream.
He had a dream, and it wasn't Martin Luther.
But this is not LeBron, so we're gonna go with Arizona. BYU or VCU.
That's a lot of letters. Let's go BYU.
Let's go Mormons in the magical undergarments. Wisconsin or Montana. See, a lot of people are going Montana.
I wouldn't know the reason why to go with Montana.
I think we should go with Wisconsin. What about you? What about you, Levi? You hadn't talked in a while. Wisconsin or Montana?
I like Wisconsin.
St. Mary's or Vandy? I think we should go with the upset of Vandy.
I think Vandy's a very good option.
Alabama or Robert Morris? Alabama.
Alabama. By far.
They're a good football team.
Now we're on to the Midwest. Houston, or I don't even. The Cougars. I'm not even sure who this team is. I'm gonna go with Houston, considering I already know who they are. Georgia all the way, right?
Yes, Georgia for sure.
Clemson. Over McNeese State.
Yep.
Purdue or High Point?
Purdue.
Purdue.
For
Gotcha.
sure.
Oh, and by the way, this is a perfect NCAA bracket, right?
Well, perfect. We'll see. I don't think we'll win any money on it, but we'll try.
Stay tuned next week for an updated bracket, I'm sure.
I spent all my money on it.
Illinois. All right, now we're on to the elite. No, the round of 32. My bad. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves there. The round of 32. Auburn or the Blue Jays?
If Auburn lost to a disease, we'd be in a mess of trouble.
Michigan A&M. This could be a really good game. A&M's SEC team. They beat some good SEC teams, but Michigan's on a roll. They won the Big Ten title game. I got to go with Michigan. What about you?
I personally think Texas A&M, but
What about you, Levi? You be the tiebreaker here. What do you think, A&M or Michigan? Because I can see it either way. What do you want?
Honestly,
Because if we look at the preview here,
yeah.
I mean, look, Michigan. Who's this actually? Hold on. This is A&M. They beat Texas Tech, which is a good team, but that was back in December.
But if you
They beat Auburn.
But if you look, they did beat Auburn, but they were on a. I
Texas.
think Auburn's kind of peaked.
And
But they
were
lost
the
to-
Gators beat the shit out of
They
them.
lost to 3 teams that are really on a roll.
And then this is Michigan State. They've not that great of a massive resume, but I mean the Big Ten's good in basketball. So is the SEC this year. So I think y'all have convinced me. Let's go with the A&M
I think
Aggies.
Texas.
All right. So Ole Miss and Iowa State, another close one, but I would have to probably favor Iowa State in this matchup.
I
Yeah.
agree with you on that one.
New Mexico State or Michigan State? I'd say Michigan State
Yeah,
probably.
sure.
All right. So now we're on to the West bracket. Florida. Yeah, 100%. Colorado State or Maryland? I think the Cinderella ends this round. What do y'all think?
Maryland is
Maryland.
going for it.
The Terrapins, the Turtles. What about Missouri or Texas Tech?
I would probably choose Missouri over Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Really? Y'all gonna see TT? I think they're a dark horse to win it all.
But did you see that football team this year? They
But this is
got
basketball.
they got 2 more wins than they ever did in the last 20 years.
Texas Tech is just my gut. But if y'all want to convince me to go to Missouri, we can go with Missouri. I mean, they did beat Florida. They did beat Alabama. They beat Kansas. They beat well, that's all they really beat. Well, you have a close loss to Illinois. You have a
close loss to
blowout loss to
Tennessee.
Auburn. Close loss to Auburn. They lost to Kentucky. If you look at Texas Tech, they beat Houston. I think that's why we should go with them. But I mean, it's up to y'all. But
Well,
they beat
Missouri
Houston.
seems like such a back and forth. They
I
can
mean,
lose
Missouri-
to Florida, then they can beat Florida.
They did play Florida. I think, in my opinion, they played Florida the best of anyone else in the bracket of the SEC championship tournament. But I mean, it's up to y'all. If you want to go to Missouri, I think we should go to Missouri. Then let's go. Upset it is, because there's got to be one upset. I mean, this is entertainment purposes, not this video. This video is probably shit right now. But as far as the tournament itself, there's always underseeds that win this thing.
Like,
It'd be no
pretty
fun,
crazy.
right? St. John's or Kansas? I think St. John's, because
Yes, that's
Kansas
it.
just ain't what they normally are. Duke or Mississippi State? Probably Duke.
for sure.
Oregon, or Arizona.
Arizona,
5-4.
maybe?
I think Arizona. Arizona, that's a decent team. Michigan State, to me, that's a quality win right here. This is a quality win to consider both of these teams are in the tournament. BYU, they got blown out by Houston, but they did beat Iowa State, Kansas, and Arizona. It's a toss-up. A lot of people have Wisconsin losing to Montana, so we can go with BYU if you like. Vanderbilt over Alabama.
I think Alabama.
Definitely. Florida over Maryland. St. John, we probably have to, I think Missouri ends with St. John.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one.
St. John's is decent Big East team. I think they're in the Big East, so yeah, I could be completely wrong about that. Let me know in the comments. I really don't know basketball. Houston over Georgia. Probably
Yeah.
Houston.
Most likely.
Clemson or Purdue.
I think Clemson might have the upset over Purdue.
I like Clemson because they did play pretty tough. They beat Duke, I believe. Am I correct? I'm pretty sure I'm correct on
wow.
that. Yeah, they beat Duke, so that's account for a lot.
Yeah, you know what? Purdue may have it then.
No, Clemson beat Duke, but Purdue beat Alabama and Michigan by quite a bit. So that's. But then see later in the year they faltered to Illinois, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Well, see, I think Duke's going to be a Final Four contender though, and Alabama.
It's a back and forth.
Alabama could be a toss up between slipping into the Final Four and staying in the Elite Eight.
We can go with Purdue. I believe they were in the national championship or at least the Final Four last year. Football is more my sport. I just completely messed up the college football bracket earlier in the year from being a little SEC biased, but I see that continues in this bracket as well. Illinois or Kentucky? Probably Kentucky.
Yeah, I agree.
Tennessee.
I believe Tennessee will make
Definitely
it to
a Final Four team. Are we in the Sweet 16 now? Or the Elite Eight?
The 16.
No, the Elite Eight, correct?
Well, you already went Florida.
Oh, we already put Florida and St. John's in the. We're a little. We've done a little mess up. That's fine though. Duke or Arizona? Duke. Auburn, A&M, probably Auburn more likely. I think Auburn's a pretty damn good team.
I want to say Auburn's a real good team, being a fan, but the way they played the last couple games, that it seems like they're getting manipulated. They're not playing to the full potential. Like they could be playing a lot better, which I'm sure every team could be playing a lot better.
Michigan, Iowa State, that'd be a hell of a game, and I think Michigan State would take it.
Yep.
Alabama over BYU, Alabama.
Yep.
So now we are officially in the Elite Eight.
Then Houston versus Purdue.
Oh no, Tennessee over Kentucky. That's an interesting one because Kentucky beat Tennessee twice, but I don't believe you can beat a team 3 times. I believe it's Tennessee. Purdue over Houston.
Yep.
Houston's gotten so good the last couple of years.
All right, Elite Eight.
Now we're in the Elite Eight.
I think
Auburn over Michigan State. Auburn.
to make it Auburn versus.
This could be really interesting here, but I really like Auburn. Most people liked Auburn all year. They won the SEC regular championship. Not that means anything. Go Gators. But I think Auburn takes it. Duke, Alabama, hell of a game. I really want to go with Alabama for the SEC biasm, but Cooper Flack,
I
hell
think
of a player.
even though I would like to see a repeat of them beating us to overcome that, I think Duke would have overcome
Duke,
Alabama.
Cooper Flack's just too damn good.
Exactly.
Go with Duke. Houston over Tennessee.
I'd pick Tennessee.
Houston's really good. A lot of people are big on them. They got a lot of good players. But I will take the SEC bias of them in this one. Tennessee. Florida St. John's. Sorry, St. John's. I'm going to go with the Gators. If it was Gators over Texas Tech, I'd be really scared. That's what happens. That's the one I'm going to sweat of all these matches up. But this one I'm going to take the Gators easily.
So with that pick, that gives us 3 SEC teams
In the Final Four and Duke. And this is my Final Four. Now, this bracket is a little mosh posh of all three of us our ideas. But these are all three of our Final Four. I'm pretty sure this is a lot of people's Final Four.
Yeah, if you're farther from this Final Four, then you know something more than I do, I think.
There's a lot of people that have some people, I don't know why, don't have any number ones making it this year. I'm not sure how that's even possible, but historically, there's always at least 2, 3 number ones. Never been 4 number ones, I don't believe, but I believe this is a solid Final Four group. This is where it gets interesting because Florida beat Auburn without one of their players. I'm going to go with the Gators again because I just think it's the Gators' year. They have a hell of a team. They're 9-10 deep. I just think the Gators.
I think if Auburn makes it to the Final Four, then they're going to be on such a roll that ain't nothing going to stop.
Walter Clayton Jr., he's an All-American, first Gator All-American, first team All-American. I want to sound like I at least know what I'm talking about. I mean, if you just look, besides, I don't know what the hell happened against Kentucky to start the year. And then Tennessee, we were out a few players. Other than that, we've dominated this conference. We pretty much dominated. Well, we were undefeated in the non-conference SEC champions. I'm going to go with the Gators, if that's okay, but because they're my national champions. Now, Duke or Tennessee, for the one that doesn't have anything and no biasm in here. Even though I'm a Gator fan, I don't really care that much. Tennessee doesn't bother me that much about it. I have some Gator fans. Duke or Tennessee, this one to me is a game I'm really interested in. I hope it really does happen. Because Tennessee, second, third best team. SEC, Duke, best non-SEC team, 100%. Maybe the best team in the country. This would be a hell of a game. I'd really like to see this game happen. A lot of MA wants to see a rematch of the SEC championship in the national championship because how great would that be to see the SEC championship be the national championship and then Tennessee beat us? That would suck balls. But so maybe for that not to happen, I would just go with Duke. But I do really think Duke is primed to possibly be pretty deep in this tournament. What do you think?
I kind of agree. I think Tennessee, given that they were SEC contenders, they pretty much runner-ups. They have a very good chance in going all the way.
Duke it is.
But I agree with you. Duke is practically unstoppable. Now, I do think Auburn has a little something special, but thinking about it, there is something going on with this Florida team.
Walter Clayton versus Cooper Flack. 2 of the starting 5 All-Americans. What more could you want for a national championship? 2 number ones. Duke, Florida, 2 blue bloods in basketball. I think it'd be a great game. Duke, I believe, beat us in the national championship before either 94 or the year 2000. Don't quote me on that. But what a great game. I mean, Walter Clayton, Cooper Flack. What more could you want for a national championship? I am 100% biased in this pick. I'm going to go with the Gators. I assume you would be too with the SEC biasm. Now it says here how many points would be scored. I really don't have an
between those two
ball. I mean, I really don't have an.
If I was to do a range, I'd say between 106 and.
Well, I think it's combined points.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah. As a range, 106 to 124.
That's a lot of points.
Well, yeah.
The most points we've scored all year is 106. I was thinking something. I don't know. This is just pulling out of my ass. 88 times 2 maybe. I know it wouldn't be tied, but around 176, 180, something like that.
Well, there has been some low-scoring games.
National championship games, 100%, and Florida's defense is really good. So, I mean, I don't really care about that. Do you know? I mean, we really.
I'm thinking defense. I think a good defensive game would be good.
Maybe 120, 124.
Let's go one. You said 170. I said 120. Let's go like 135.
Is that even possible? I guess it is. Miss a free throw.
Yeah.
135. Why not? Doesn't matter. We're not even gonna get close on this as far as try. Okay, apparently we can't type numbers.
Number lock. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Forgot about the number lock. All right, so we got Florida winning their 3rd national championship. I like that. Go Gators.
Tell us in the comments,
How wrong we are and how much we don't know shit about basketball, but that's fine.
and tell us how you're right.